Geç.
والله صوت يا شباب.
Ariana Garin has become a member. May God protect IDF. Host Hoffenland donated €11.99 through Super Chat.
Today, Israelis commemorate the 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust by Nazi Germany and their collaborators, and for the Jewish resistance in that period. In the words of the Prime Minister last night at the opening ceremony of the Yom HaShoah, Israel's national Holocaust memorial, Yad Vashem, in Jerusalem, I quote, 80 years ago in the Holocaust, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against those who sought our destruction. No nation came to our aid. Today, we again confront enemies bent on our destruction. I say to the leaders of the world, no amount of pressure, no decision by any international forum will stop Israel from defending itself. As the Prime Minister of Israel, the one and only Jewish state, I pledge here today from Jerusalem on this Holocaust Remembrance Day. If Israel is forced to stand alone, Israel will stand alone. But we know we are not alone, because countless decent people around the world support our just cause. And I say to you, we will defeat our genocidal enemies. Never again is now. End quote. Next to our fallen soldiers, IDF fatalities since the start of the October 7th massacre have unfortunately risen to 612. The people of Israel grieve with the families of First Sergeant Reuben Mark Mordechai Asulin, aged just 19, from Ranana. First Sergeant Ido Testa was 19, from Jerusalem. First Sergeant Tal Shavit was 21, from Giladi. And Sergeant Michael Rosal was just 18, from Rishon LeZion. The Hamas rockets that killed these men were fired from Rafah, targeting the Kerem Shalom humanitarian crossing, a crossing that facilitates aid deliveries on a daily basis, aid that the civilians of Gaza count on. Rafah is where our IDF soldiers have yet to enter. It contains the last 4 Hamas battalions. These soldiers left their families and their loved ones to defend our nation. All 4 fell fighting Hamas in Gaza yesterday. There are no words of mine that can assuage the terrible pain for their families. May their memories be a blessing. Next, an operational update. In recent hours, the IDF has informed Gazans in eastern Rafah to evacuate temporarily towards the expanded humanitarian area. We have made Gazans aware through flyers dropped, SMS messages, phone calls, and media broadcasts in Arabic. The text of the flyers is available from the IDF website. They call on residents of certain specified neighborhoods to relocate to specified humanitarian safe zones, because the IDF will be operating against the terrorist organizations in these areas. For their safety, the IDF urges them to evacuate immediately to the expanded humanitarian area in the Al-Mawasi area. Warnings have also been issued that Gaza City is still a dangerous active combat zone, and to avoid returning north of Wadi Gaza. Warnings have also been made to stay away from the eastern and southern security fences. The IDF announced the expansion of the humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi. The area will spread from Deir al-Balah in the north and up to the south, and in the east to the center of Khan Yunis. A map has been provided. In these areas, expanded humanitarian aid will continue. Gazans have been alerted that the IDF will continue fighting the terror organizations, and we have made Gazans aware that Hamas seeks to use them as human shields. In Rafah, the IDF is not an army that seeks to conquer and occupy. Ours is an army that seeks to liberate Gaza from Hamas. Next, an update from Kogat on the influx of humanitarian aid. The amount of humanitarian aid going into Gaza has significantly increased and continues to increase. In recent weeks, close to 100 food aid trucks traveled to northern Gaza daily, which was previously thought to be a problematic area with food, with the international community and UN agencies in Gaza. In talks between Israeli and UN representatives, including the World Food Programme, none of them indicated a risk of famine in northern Gaza. They noted that the humanitarian situation is improving and that there is a variety of goods in both warehouses and markets in the north. Markets in the north and the south are bustling. Noting the improved situation, international organizations stated last week that the volume of goods transported to northern Gaza must be reduced. I'll repeat that the volume of goods transported to northern Gaza must be reduced, since the quantities are too high in relation to the population. Israel has established various aid routes, including airdrops, the maritime route and land crossings to deliver aid to Gaza. There are currently 2 crossings for aid delivery to northern Gaza and 2 in the south, with over 350 trucks entering Gaza daily. 350 trucks entering Gaza daily, mostly carrying food, enough food for all the people, for all of the civilian Gazans. The issue has never been about getting aid into Gaza, but getting aid to the civilians of Gaza who need it the most before it is looted and stolen by Hamas. So, more food and enter Gaza every single day. Food, water, medical supplies without limit, and shelter. The humanitarian aid arrives at the Gaza Strip by sea, by air, and land. So that's the end of our briefing today. I will now take your questions, which you should put in the chat with your news outlet. Thank you very much. First question, please.
Exhausted release negotiations make progress.
Could I ask you to repeat it?
Might the Rafah evacuations be put on hold or reversed if the hostage release negotiations make progress?
Again, I didn't. Perhaps if you turn that speaker off. Good question. The speaker over there. That speaker there. Just repeat the question if you could. Thank you.
Might the Rafah evacuation be put on hold or reversed if the hostage release negotiations make progress?
I believe that's a question from Dan Williams. If the Gaza negotiations will continue and if it will affect the operation in Rafah. Dan, thank you for that question. So, look, we have stated many, many times that the Israeli government is committed to do whatever it is that is needed to get our hostages home. We want our 132 hostages home. 37 of them have unfortunately, 37 of them have unfortunately been killed by Hamas. So we will do whatever is possible to bring our people home. And I mean that, whatever is needed to bring our people home. Next question, please.
Did Israel inform the United States in advance of today's evacuations?
Thank you for that question about whether we informed the US about this latest operation. So, as I think you will probably get tired of hearing me, we work very, very closely, side by side, with our American friends. The US has been Israel's closest friend for decades. We're working side by side, shoulder to shoulder on this effort. Our war aims, I think, are replicated both for us and the Americans. That is of course, to bring our hostages home, to defeat Hamas militarily and politically, and to ensure that Gaza can never be a threat to us again. So yes, of course, we are working extremely closely with our American friends.
So, did the United States approve the move?
Thank you for that question. The question was whether the US approved the move. As I said to you in my previous answer, we work extremely closely with our American allies. Our war aims are replicated both in Jerusalem and in Washington, D.C. Both of us want to destroy Hamas, to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to us, and of course to return all of our 132 hostages. So we are working extremely closely with the US. Next question, please.
Has CIA Director Burns visited Israel, or will he visit Israel during its current Middle East war?
Thank you for that question. That's probably a question for Mr. Burns directly. I'm the spokesman for the Israeli government, so I think any questions like that could probably be best addressed to Mr. Burns himself. Next question, please.
Joe Pollack from Breitbart News. Can you comment on reports that an ammunition shipment from the U.S. to Israel was delayed?
Thank you for that question, Joel. I haven't seen those reports. I haven't got any information on that whatsoever. If you have any questions like that of a practical nature, I could recommend contacting the IDF spokesman directly.
Another question from Joel. Is the message to the residents of Rafah an attempt to convince Hamas to accept the deal on the table, or is it the actual prelude to an attack on Hamas in the town?
Thank you for that question. The purpose of the operation in Rafah is to do exactly what the IDF have stated. Rafah contains the last 4 battalions of Hamas. We cannot leave them in power. It's been stated quite clearly that if we do that, they will simply retake Gaza, and also, of course, they will simply retake Gaza, and consequently they will attack us again, because that's precisely what they have said. Next question, please.
Jonas Bishop, Swiss TVSRF. What is Israel's timeline for a Rafah evacuation order until a ground invasion?
Sorry, I can't hear the questions. Maybe if you tell me without the microphone. So that's an operational question, which obviously we won't be sharing our operational tactics live over the air. But as we have said, the message has gone out to certain parts, eastern parts of Rafah, for civilians to move out of harm's way. We've got no problem with ordinary Gazans. We don't want to harm them. We're going after Hamas. Hamas is our enemy, and they will be defeated. It's one of our 3 war aims that we've made extremely clear. At the end of this war, Hamas will no longer form a threat to Israel from Gaza or anywhere else for that matter. We're doing this not only for us, we're on the front line of this terror, but we're doing it for the entire world, because Hamas and their brand of Iranian-backed Islamic fundamentalism can no longer be a threat to this country. And of course, it's a threat to the entire world, the entire free world, that is. So we're going after Hamas. They will be defeated. But of course, we will do everything in our power, and I mean everything, to get our hostages out. Diplomacy, fighting the terrorists. We will do whatever it takes to bring our people home. Next question, please. Thank you for that question. So we've established safe humanitarian zones, and the reason we've established these safe humanitarian zones is because we want to move innocent civilians out of harm's way. Unfortunately, what we've seen in the past is Hamas have fired directly upon us from safe zones. But this will not deter us. We will move innocent people out of harm's way and then go for Hamas. Our battle is not with the people of Gaza, it's with the genocidal terrorist army of Hamas. So in terms of the legal aspects of this, of course we take legal considerations extremely seriously. All of our actions are within are legal, and that consideration is always made in our battle. But ultimately, we were attacked on October the 7th by an organization that says to us very clearly that they wish to do October 7th again and again and again. All the countries around the world, including Australia, should simply ask themselves this question: what would you do? What would Australia do if it was attacked by a genocidal terrorist army whose expressed aim was to destroy all of your country and to kill all of your inhabitants? Our war is a war of self-defense. We have no problem with the ordinary people of Gaza. We're going after Hamas, and they will be defeated. Our interest ultimately is for peace in this region. We were getting very, very close to widening the arc of peace with the Abraham Accords. We want to get back to the Abraham Accords. We want to get back to peaceful relations with all the peoples in this region, because all of us here deserve to live in peace and harmony. And of course, it's in all of our interests to destroy Hamas. I think most countries around us, whether they say this publicly or not, all of these countries are in favor of destroying Hamas to get back to ensure that this a genocidal terrorist organization can no longer be a threat to the civilized world. Next question, please. Thank you for that question. Yes, Kerem Shalom was attacked. The absolute absurdity of Hamas sending projectiles, rockets over to destroy and target aid going into Gaza to feed ordinary Gazans. But this is Hamas. This is exactly who they are. They want to maximize civilian casualties. That's what they're trying to do. Where there is hunger in Gaza, it is hunger orchestrated by Hamas, and this is a classic example of their tactics. We have warned about this, whether the international community has taken our word for it or not. This was a classic example of Hamas trying to disrupt aid coming into Gaza to feed ordinary Gazans. As to the practicalities of the current situation at Kerem Shalom, please direct your question directly to Kogat, who are on the ground and are the experts in the matter.